So we're watching
Mhm.
2. Has everybody here seen 1 or 2 or does not care about a spoiler?
I do not care about spoilers.
I've seen it.
I don't
Okay.
care.
So there's a part that comes up with a thing that like turns into like not an island or a mountain, and I'm like, and my girls are like, oh, what is that monster, Daddy? What is that? It's scary. It's awesome looking or whatever. And Cheyenne's like, I don't know, what is that? And I was like, it's some kind of clam or something. And I just threw it as like, it was like a throwaway line, and of course it was a clam because like I had barely seen it like three parts of a second or whatever it was, and it was like, and I just it had, there's no reason for me to just know that that's what that was, but yeah.
What a fantastic start to the recording. Hello, welcome back to Garber Studios, Remnant Lunar Archon session 102. I hope you are having a wonderful day. We're just gonna get started because we're already a few minutes in.
Up here.
Last time, according to my note, it definitely wasn't Chris who did it last time, but who was it?
I think it was John.
Yeah. It was me because I didn't have Fantasy Grounds open and didn't have my notes. And
this is accurate. That did happen. Let's find out who it was, or who it is this time. According to the dice roll, hey Chris, you want to give the recap?
I will do my best. Okay, so we had been getting more time situated in Coquina with trying to sort out the kind of town that it was, and it seemed as though nothing was going to happen within relation to Doug, in spite of the fact that he came from here. And then we kind of got word that the lady, the Lord of Coquina, was being challenged, and Garon and I believe that also Gambit agreed that it might be a dangerous challenge at a inopportune time in order to facilitate what at least it seems like at least the two of them believe to be puppet mastery at work from the Dream Lord. So we went to go try to stop that after getting Flower and finding out that this was not the place to do performances because of weird stipulations, and we kind of talked out in the open, but it seemed like it might be okay. And so we rushed to go try to stop the whole situation, and it turns out it was not a big deal in this case, which honestly only worries Garon further. But other than that, Gambit went off to do some other recon, and I believe is the only one not immediately in the surrounding situation to...
Hey, back.
You did make it back, okay.
Yes.
So he made it back, and we were in the process of kind of trying to wait to talk to her to try to convince her that she should enjoy her great victory because of how soundly defeated her opponent was, but to also still at least take our warning seriously for no other reason than because we're trusted by people that hopefully she trusts and respects. And, you know, we're hoping that's enough. But that's about where we're at. If I missed anything, I'm sure Michael will fill it in.
There was a cliffhanger on the end that Jocelyn reacted well to, if she wants to say what the cliffhanger was.
Oh, what was it? Some guy showed up.
Nope.
No, people started screaming, so there's probably like a grim attack or something like that.
So at the very end, Thicket's ears perked up.
It was rumbling.
As he heard, yes, rumbling. I'm gonna go ahead and clear chat. Bonk. Well, there goes another pod. Hey, at least it increased the subscriber count, right? Or the follow count. But at the very end, right after the fight, people were cheering, murmuring, talking. Some people disappointed, seemingly, with the quality of the fight. Others just happy to see a fight and see Ashara work. But as this was going on, Thicket was the only one who seemed to be around to hear, including the rest of you, as he heard from outside of the arena, some distance away, rumbling, and then sort of a crash and rumble, and then screams. Kind of mixed in with the second rumbling. What would the party like to do?
Well, Pickett's the only one that's aware of this.
What will Thicket like to do?
Pickett is muted.
Thicket is considering quietly for half a second as the world seems to
Hello?
slow down around it. Oh, there we go.
You.
Hello, Pickett.
I think there's an earthquake. There's a rumbling noise.
That guy didn't fall that hard, did he? Was it that hard?
Yeah, I think it's just the fight.
But the fight's over.
Is Coquina prone to earthquakes?
Doug,
I have no
intelligence
idea.
check. History check.
History check. Doug is great at history with a 0 or a 1. It did it again. It did it again.
He nat 20. Oh, wait, you rolled it twice.
Yeah, it's just a 10.
Yeah, with the 10 with your average memory, you don't remember really any earthquakes. I mean, very occasionally maybe, but it's not been a regular thing. There used to be, granted this was like 15, 12 years ago, issues with flooding whenever there would be heavy rain. But then some sewer systems, effectively spillways that the rain would drain down into, were put in. And since then that hasn't been as much of a problem, especially... You remember growing up, it was a problem in the first few years of your life that you recall before the Orange Sun, that it heavily affects the staggered steps because of the quarry setup that they have. But then even in the steps, a spillway was put in place to be able to push the water down to the base and into effectively a well, an underground stream beneath the staggered steps. But you don't remember earthquake being a regular thing.
And then Doug relays all that information, but says, no earthquakes.
Well, where's the rumbling coming from, Pickett?
That way.
Which way are you pointing?
South.
Is there a southern door?
No, but you're on the upper level of a coliseum.
Is there a window?
Yep. By
We look out the
window, you
window?
mean open, basically,
Whatever.
kind of paneling.
Look outside.
Looking down,
Is
make a perception check.
you said this is an open coliseum?
I would like to look too.
It is open to the air above, yes, and does have openings you can clearly see through outside. There is a amount of railing. So, John, you can see something. You can see dust about 2 blocks away. Thicket, you can see in Thicket, and Garand, and Gambit can all see pretty clearly that even in the dust, it looks like a section of the street 2 blocks away has entirely caved in. And there are people gathering around.
I told you it was an earthquake.
All right.
It's the Underminer!
I might be beneath you, but not beneath me. All right.
Copyright strike.
Yeah. This fight was so... I mean, it's not that disappointing. It was a fun little superhero fight in the second movie, but... Anyway.
Sorry, didn't mean to
What
tangent
will the party do?
I could go warn the Lord if she's still around.
How far away is this?
It's about 2 blocks,
Is it-
so... 100, 120 feet, and maybe a little longer. That feels right. We'll say 120 feet.
I guess I can't see the hole, can I? I see
Not
dust.
clearly from here. You see dust.
Do you guys see anything? I see dust.
There's a hole.
The hole? Where?
There's a hole in Coquina, dear Lord, dear Lord. Yeah.
Well, who wants to go check it out?
8 now.
I go warn the Lord about the hole.
You are running down to the edge of the Colosseum. You see the Lord is still With your passive insight, or just a regular insight, do you want to roll insight or take your passive?
What is my passive again? Passive insight.
Yeah, it's probably like it's 19.
Garon, let's go check it out.
I'll roll.
Yeah. If Thicket starts heading towards the
You can
Lord-
see she looks fairly disheartened. Does not seem to have heard anything, as she is disheartened, but is still like waving to the crowd and everything as people yell out and applause. What are the others doing?
Well, if Garon and me want to go, I'm gonna open a dimension door
Yeah,
down to the street.
I'll go with him. But if I see Thicket heading the opposite way, like he's going that way, I'll say, "Hey, regardless, let her know she needs to take this threat seriously. It's not a joke. All right, bye." And let's go, mate.
Oh,
So
I'm
we're
a dimension door like 50 feet down the street.
Okay. You dimension door and then run a few moments as these dust clears. You can see people screaming and some of them seemingly trying to almost figure out how to climb down into the pit. As you get closer, the two of you would find that it looks like the straight way here has caved in effectively and dropped down. You can't see everyone, and you're not sure exactly what, but you do see at least one person with his legs stuck partway in the rubble. It looks like, looking to each end, it looks like you can see into what looks like some kind of more open sewer system that this is caved down into. This opening is probably about 30, maybe 40 feet or longer, that covers the entire street.
You said there's one dude down there
At
stuck?
least, there's at least one that you can see. I was thinking...
Good.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna shout around. Did anybody see what happened?
Make a persuasion check.
While he's doing that, I want to investigate whatever's pending his leg to get an idea of how much it might weigh.
With that investigation, you're looking at probably 150 pounds of stone in part of the sandstone slabs that make up the street. You do see with that investigation as well, looking around through the rubble, you can see parts of it that have kind of caved, that have fallen over each other, and it looks like there might be some people inside the rubble. You also spot a couple of others who are climbing out, seemingly having been somewhat okay, but do have wounds on them. You also, with that investigation, actually with that investigation, you wouldn't notice anything additional. With persuasion, John, it takes a few moments of asking, but then a guy nearby looks over and says, "We were walking and the ground just broke underneath us." Says one of the guys says that is being pulled up out of the rubble. And then I need John to make a persuasion check or a perception check. As he does that, Thicket. Actually, as he does that, Gambit. Doug, what are y'all doing?
Gambit sees them dimension door down, and he just kind of throws his hands up and I guess I'll walk.
Wait, I'm gonna take one person with me.
Can't you fly?
Have I flown today?
No.
Okay, I can fly
really
then. I'll fly, I guess.
He can fly, he can fly, he can fly.
You rocket up out and over from the Coliseum, getting some people paying attention around as you take off. The blackened wings opening behind you. As you would rapidly approach. What's Doug doing?
Where did Thicket go?
Thicket is running up to the edge of the Coliseum.
Lord.
He's running up to the edge of the arena itself to try and get the attention of Ashara.
Oh, Hey, hey Gambit, can you carry me as you fly, and then I'll, I guess, manifest my echo and kind of go in a different direction and kind of look where Thicket is and then where everyone else is.
I mean, I can try.
And then Doug just says great, like hops into like Gambit's arms, and then just, I guess, collapses as his echo just comes out.
That last part again?
So Doug doesn't really register the, I guess, the tone in Gambit's voice, and just kind of jumps into his arms, and then as his echo, or I guess, what is it called necessarily? Yeah, but like the particular, it's not different, is it?
Are you doing the Echo Avatar?
Yeah.
Where you can look through it? Okay, so you create the Echo Avatar that you can move much farther and control and look through its eyes.
Yeah, so that one just kind of follows Thicket.
Okay, doke. Thicket. How are you trying to get the attention of Ashara?
By jumping.
Help! Help!
Make a persuasion check to be heard among the crowd.
Persuasion. Do I get an advantage because it's an emergency?
Nope. Screaming your lungs out. Doesn't seem to be able to hear you.
What do I have? Let me see.
Wait.
You good scratcher.
Yes, Gambit?
Never mind.
Okay.
I was saying we could switch tasks, but probably wouldn't have that coordination.
Is there like a pebble I can throw at her?
Well, I mean, we can also still talk over the earrings. So Garon's gonna say, "Hey, Jackie's with you. Just come when you can. We're trying to rescue people down here." And after I say that, Garon then will Misty step down to start helping people. If I need to, I can mage hand a rope up, but I'm going to try to make some kind of pulley system to move off that that rock, that heavy stone slab or whatever.
All right. You begin to try and tie up the rope and get it up to someone so that people can help you lift and try to pull it off. You don't. What could you use to try to make a pulley with?
So I guess it would be maybe a survival to tie the ropes and get that kind of going.
I mean, what kind of objects? Because pulley is a very specific thing where you use effectively wheels to attach ropes around so that you can pull it to ease the weight.
Maybe I'm using the wrong word then. Fulcrum? I don't know. The thing where basically you basically are just throwing a rope over a heavy overhang or some kind of other thing. You could even do it theoretically into a building, as long as the angle is at the right angle. And so pulling and dragging that will be relatively easy if it's only 150 pounds, because pulling and dragging is easy. And then that would be enough to lift enough to get him out of there. Okay.
So throwing a rope over a bridge to get extra leverage.
Yeah. So whatever. If I'm using the wrong terminology or whatever, then...
Pulley is the wrong word. Leverage is closer, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, you go ahead and try and do that. Seems like make a basic survival check. Are you trying to do the check to pull the rock off of them? Trying to get other people?
I mean, I'm just trying to get like the basic idea of I think this will work kind of deal, and then hey, can I get help doing what I think this is? Because I bamfed down to him to tie the rope around the slab, and then my mage hand is going to cast it up.
As you're doing this, John, what are you doing?
I guess figured out that it just collapsed. There's people under there. You said in the rubble?
Seems to be there are some that have kind of been trapped partially or fully in the rubble.
I wish I had some sort of telekinesis type deal, but I don't.
Is Gambit there yet?
You'll be there in a moment.
I guess I'm gonna, if I see Garand trying to pull somebody up, I'll try to help him.
Alright, you're gonna jump down into the place, into the haven.
Yeah, might as well.
You hop down
What
and
is-
try help lift Gambit.
What is the ground like underneath?
It looks to
the
be
dude.
underneath the guy.
Yeah.
Looks like the ground down there is pretty much, yeah, make a Mason's check, intelligence based.
Just regular intelligence?
Yeah,
Or Mason's tools?
Mason's tools, so intelligence with proficiency.
Was that your job? And then were you a stone carver?
I was a minor.
Okay.
Oh,
He was
bad.
a minor. It looks to be made of sandstone. Might be a little slippery from the water that goes down, though it's dry currently. It looks like there's some stuff that grows, algae and type things.
Did I bore into it?
Not easily. Oh, you mean like burrow?
No, I mean bore. I mean Helion's magmatic bore.
With magic, yes.
Okay. Am I there yet?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to talk to the dude. Listen, you're gonna feel a feeling, and I need you to just roll with it, okay? And Gambit is gonna transposition
check.
with the dude. Okay, I'm using a hero point.
You're gonna do what to him?
Transposition.
He's a very helpful feat.
Okay. Persuasion. Yeah, I mean, it has to be. As long as it's not a 1. Thank goodness.
He looks at you shocked but nods as
Okay.
a moment passes as he dissipates into this what color is your aura?
Red.
Into this reddish mist and reappearing in that spot from the mist as Gambit, as in the other spot this man appears stumbling down as his leg is clearly hurt, but he's no longer under the rubble. As Gambit, you are now feeling crushed under this.
Okay.
It is actually
immediately-
relatively light because it's being pulled on by Garand and John.
Okay, immediately after, I'm going to Helion's magmatic bore into the ground underneath, and then reappear 10 feet outside of away from the thing being crushed.
The lava splashes around you, but fortunately doesn't hit anyone as you move back out of the way. Still, are you in the sewer area, or are you up above ground? Or are you coming back out?
I'm coming back out above ground.
I'm back up further out toward the street, toward an alleyway. Doug. You see Thicket is struggling to get any
yes.
attention.
According to this, my avatar, for my physical body is just deafened and blinded, so I can still feel things.
Yep. You can feel
I-
Gambit set you down. You're standing now.
But I can't speak through the avatar, correct?
Correct.
In this case, I think the avatar is just gonna, I guess, dash towards Ashara, just in a like confusing, like circular, like zigzaggy motion, just trying to get attention.
You jump down into the arena, dashing toward her as she turns.
But of course, like the avatar is like waving its hands and not seeming like it's posing a threat.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Could be worse.
Do as you run up to her, she dashes close to the avatar and strikes into it. How much haste? I think it instantly dissipates if it gets damaged. So
Yeah.
she elbows into it as it shatters from the core. What was that? Orange Sun. What are you doing?
Oh, she can't see me.
Oh, she
I
can't
would-
see you.
oh. Huh?
Seems she recognizes the technique, though.
Yeah, but she can't see me since I'm with Gambit.
Correct, but she shouts it out to the crowd. Thicket, what are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can I go up there too?
Like, down into the arena.
Yeah.
It's like a 20-foot drop off the edge. Close to 15. Are you just gonna jump?
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your 4 damage as you land on your little cat paws, running into the arena.
The road is collapsing!
She looks down toward you. The road is collapsing. Which one? What happened?
Thicket has no idea. So much so
Yeah,
that
you get out again, Maury, if you're...
Hello?
Hello!
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why you're cutting out.
What was the last thing that you heard me say?
The bridge is collapsing. And then she responded. Or the
Okay.
road is collapsing. What happened?
The
What
sky
road?
is
Where?
falling.
It's that one! I don't know. I heard rumbling and I looked over and there was a hole in the road.
With your insight, you can tell she rapidly seems to calculate in her head and yells out to the crowd, her voice seemingly amplified by the magic of the arena. Everyone remain calm. Stay within the arena. Guards, I need your help out this way. We have a small collapse.
A small disaster.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say that, and I was like, that's not right. As she will begin to dash, and as she does, she will jump and basically wall climb up the wall, stepping over into the bleachers and running. Moving past toward that wall, toward that direction.
I go with her. I'll go as a bird.
Of course, people are not choosing to remain calm. Back over to Garand.
Alright, alright, I guess, so my main channel lasts for a minute, so for like the next, like, I guess 9-ish turns, And then I'm just gonna cast light on it.
Your mage hand.
Yeah, so my mage hand now glows so that we can see everybody in here, and then I'm going to use Mantle of Inspiration, and grant 5 people the ability to move their speed, and gain some temporary hit points. So they're all gonna have 8 temporary hit points, and they all get to move their speed. And I'm going with the without provoking opportunity attacks, as in like if something was about to crumble and fall on them, maybe they get out of the way in time. That's kind of my mentality.
Okay, so it does have to be people that you can see.
I'm hoping that with the light, I can now see people better.
Make a perception check.
With advantage?
No.
With a bonus?
That's up to you if you can make one. Doesn't come with it. Not out of the box.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just go hang myself a hero point. What?
You start to see where a few different people are. You do see someone on the other end who looks like they're trying to crawl out. It is slow going, but they are moving. Another is a woman who is partially stuck down underneath some of the rocks. They seem to be supporting... The rocks are supporting each other enough to where she's not being crushed. You would also see what looks like a child between one of the holes in the rock that they can't clearly get out. You can't clearly see them or exactly their condition, but there is someone underneath the rubble.
So someone I couldn't get to, but I was able to help a handful of folks. So that's a good start.
The person who is crawling out will crawl faster and seemingly be able to get out easier by you doing this, and you can make out 2 more people clearly.
Okay. For the child, I'm gonna be like, John, we've got a priority right there, child, and I'm gonna kind of point it out to him. Would it make sense to have the mage hand go a little bit higher to create like a disco ball, like sparkly light effect, to where we might have a better light in here, almost as if like it was like a mini sun raining down on a small field? Does that make sense?
It would certainly make the light cover more of an area.
Yeah. All right. Then
Granted, there is some sun coming down. It is 10:30 in the morning.
Okay, but still, I mean, I don't know how bad this all is, and like, I don't know how deep, like, so I don't know.
Shining light down the tunnels and everything as well, and you do see a couple, or at least one person, like hobbling off, or like hobbling over to a wall to sit, as he seems to be able to get out fairly easily from the damage. As you do this, as going to John's turn, John, you would see as 3 more figures leap down into the pit. 2 with armor and 1 with much lighter armor. The other 2 with shields on their backs and these spears. Looks like a long chain wrapped around itself on the side of the third. As the 2 with shields reach down and lift together, lifting up some of the rubble off of the woman who's trapped. As the third guy is leaning down and pulling her and trying to pull her out of the rubble, seemingly fairly successfully.
So these are like guards that went down?
You've seen a handful of guards who tend to wear like more nondescript. No, they would. Most of the guards here would probably wear a red sash with the Dahlia emblem on it. These do not. Though you do see the 2 armored ones do have a little bit of red in their armor at different points. Make a perception check or an investigation check, your choice.
Not really sure. I had the same bonus on both of those, so.
Can't make anything in particular.
What was that?
Can't make out anything in particular.
So they're not guards.
They're not guards, but you can't figure out anything else about them.
Okay.
They're helping
I was
out.
not very perceptive today.
Nope. Yeah.
I guess I'll sort of not shout at them, but like over the commotion, yell, "Who are you guys?"
Make a persuasion check.
So many checks today.
So many checks. We'll keep doing things. The guy looks over this human man with this kind of slightly greasy, longer black hair. Looks over. Orange Sun. Get moving. As he manages to pull her all the way out of the rubble, leading her over to one of the armored people after they put down the rubble, dropping it and then helping her, as it looks like the two of them are now trying to like lift her out as this guy moves over to where Garand had pointed out a child.
You know, I kind of figured they were Orange Sun, but
Is there anything else John is doing?
ask them if they need help. You guys need any help there?
Much does it take to get them out? Gambit, what are you doing?
There's more people to get out.
Looks like there are a couple of people who might need help getting out of the pit if you wanted to get them up onto the street. It looks like the help is concentrating around a single mound of rubble that you don't know the details of who's inside.
Don't know the details of who's inside. But the people in the pit are like not dying or being crushed or severely
Doesn't
injured.
seem to be.
Okay, so I'll move over to the pile of people that seem to be buried. And I guess pull out my miner's pick and start.
You jump back down into the pit, moving over to this mound where everyone is gathering.
I guess I start trying to like chip away at the
Make an
cracks and
intelligence
stuff like that.
an intelligence check with Mason's tools, as
Yay.
the man is also moving over to try and help and pull rock out of the way.
No, are you kidding me? I'm gonna accidentally kill somebody.
Seems like the most efficient path as you begin to strike into it.
Great.
Duck. As you arrive, you are up on the road. You come back to your senses.
Mm-hmm. What does Doug immediately see?
A hole. People gathering around it. People down in a hole.
Okay.
What's he gonna focus on?
Does he recognize like the Orange Sun helping?
You do.
Then Doug will go help.
Alright, you hop down into the hole to move toward it. As you see a face you haven't seen since Schist. As the chain hunter that is interacting with the others and moving the rocks out of the way is none other than Valender.
So I guess as Doug goes in and starts helping and recognizes, what's his name? Valander?
Valender.
Valander.
I believe.
He just casually asks, like, "Hey, what happened here?"
He looks over, eyeing you for a moment. Looks like the sewer collapsed. Has been taken care of in years. Or at least it's been in bad need of repairs. Come on, we gotta get this kid out. We can talk more about it later. Thicket. You fly as you are flying, trying to keep up with Ashara, as even in bird form, she is faster than you, as she dashes along up the stairs and then leaps out the side of the Colosseum, jumping down the 20 feet, seemingly fairly unaffected, as she rolls down and is rapidly approaching the collapse. Is there anything else you're going to do while moving?
Feline agility to keep up with her.
Fair enough. Sure.
All right. So as of right now, as far as Garon can tell, everybody's out except for whoever's trapped under the rubble pile.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what this would look like or whatever, but I'm wanting to do a shatter that will crack all of that rock without necessarily hurting the people directly below it and immediately around. I don't know if there's a way that I can make that, if that's possible.
Undercast shatter?
Well, that's a DM prerogative, so that's entirely up to you, Micah, if I can smaller cast it or if I can whatever, but the idea is basically because creatures or inorganic material, such as stone, crystal, metal, non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes damage. So it's like an automatic pretty much on that stone. So basically I'm going to turn all that stone into dust and very small pieces of rubble, but I just don't want to hurt anybody like that might be close. Does that make sense?
Yep, though, notably, especially with the people gathering around, you could not do it without hitting people. With the people trying to pull the rubble off, including your friends and this Orange Sun guy you remember vaguely from back in Schist months ago. But with everyone so close by and with the size, because the spillway, the sewer you're in, is only like 10 feet, maybe 12 or 15 wide, and with it being a 10-foot radius...
Okay, that would cause reverberation, so that would... Okay.
It would damage the sides
Okay.
of the road where it is, which could potentially damage the houses above.
Okay. Then...
Or the buildings above, rather.
With that... Would I don't cast it, but I've seen John cast it. Do I think that Thunder Wave would work instead to push it all away?
It might, but you'd have to be very careful not to hurt the person underneath, or to send rubble flying into the person underneath.
Okay. All right. If I'm not feeling confident about how that would pull off,
it would be a hard spellcasting ability check.
Yeah, unsecured objects completely within the area of effect, so they'd have to fit in a 15-foot cube, which isn't huge.
I mean, it's a pretty solid-sized cube. You'd basically be able to fill the entire size of the tunnel, the hole. But trying to do it without hitting the child and hitting the stuff above and around them is not an easy task.
Okay. I don't really want to set it all on fire either, so I don't think that
I don't know if that would help.
I think a novel is going to be too much use here.
Yeah, so I guess then I will, because I get to control the mage hand without a problem, so I'm just going to go ahead and the mage hand is going to be moving 10 pounds or less of rubble at a time and helping me, and we're basically going to start trying to unbury, and we're going to do it from a methodical standpoint. Like, I mean, I figure with the higher intelligence, it should be a simple, like, logic problem, so that, like, we're finding a relative easy way to make a pathway effectively.
All right, John.
I don't have a better idea.
Make a history check with disadvantage.
Sorry?
Make a history check with disadvantage.
Already rolling horribly, and you're going to give me disadvantage.
Hard things to remember.
Oh, nice.
You can vaguely remember from some parts of the war, you know, during some levels of fights, like traps and things, would be to intentionally set up rubble around. And you vaguely recall an instance where some of your men were trapped in a trap that was intentionally set up by part of the orc army. You managed to get them out, but you remember barely doing it at the last second as disturbing the rocks around them made it lose stability and collapse behind them, almost taking out your men before you could get them out.
So removing rocks basically made it less stable and
Yep, that's something you vaguely recall.
fresh
It
people.
feels relevant.
Uh,
You can't put your
let's-
finger on why.
is Garand about to do Thunderwave or
No,
Doesn't look like it, but everyone's moving and starting to move the rubble.
guys? Don't try to move the rubble. Try to get them out without moving it. It might make it less stable.
Persuasion check.
Okay,
So I imagine Doug,
I'm gonna use a hero point on this one.
Gambit might.
Is this the same place that where Gambit is?
Yep, so you'll be able to hear. He's like
scene.
right next to you as he's looking at it.
I mean, Garan would just be like, okay, if John thinks that that's a danger, fine, then he's going to switch tactics and he's going to try to investigate and see the best way to start pulling people out.
Try and make your intelligence mason's tools check, because it's not going to be investigation.
Oh, okay, well, then that's,
Much lower.
yeah, lower.
I'm not totally sure. John, Valender looks to you and nods, like looking over and keeping his hands around the rocks, trying to look for the best way to deal with it. Gambit, you need to make a Mason's Tools intelligence check, assuming you are also looking for the right way to do this.
Yes.
As you immediately clock when he says, like, yeah, that's
one.
I think if we remove rubble,
goodness.
you have to support. You have to support what it was holding. So
yeah. So Gambit, you as you look into it, paying attention to what John just said, you do realize that yes, there are several pieces of rubble that are close to being, or like piles that are close to being moved. Like if it was moments longer, one of the larger pieces of stone above the kid might have fallen. Having stopped just short, you take a few moments and you begin to see the pattern where if you specifically taking the idea of using rope or something to lift one of the rocks up, like from the lower one of the ones lower, like sticking the rope through and then holding it to the side, you'd be able to remove the other side while keeping stability, but you would need someone who can fairly well stand and hold the rope to hold the rubble in place.
So wait.
My
You
total, by
figured
the
out
way,
where if you can support it, where you could support it and make sure that it doesn't fall, but you would need someone to constantly support that spot as you remove the other rubble around it to be able to get to the kid.
Who's strong? We need someone to stand and hold it up while we get the kid out so it doesn't collapse on him.
Valender raises his hand.
We might need several people.
Valender looks to Doug.
Yeah, I'll help.
My total roll was a 10, by the way, Micah, so that shouldn't hopefully be a hindrance, but it's
It
definitely
won't
not
be a
60.
hindrance, but it's not enough to be able to see the right way to do it. But it looks like Gambit's figuring that out.
Okay.
I showed them where to hold it.
You see Valender pulls out a chain with a hook on the end, much the same as Doug had, especially at the beginning of your adventures, though you weren't there for that, but I guess he was still using it by the time you got the great sword.
So
That he has hooked around, locking the chain together, and then they're using that to hold the stone back.
Who pulls the kid out? I guess I will.
Alright, then you need to make...
Am I there yet?
Yes, so at this point, Thicket and Ashara are arriving. as you hear the rapid steps from above as Ashara looks down into the pit. Thicket, you can fly and see into the pit where it looks like they're all doing something around a mound of rocks.
Can I see that there's a kid?
From that high up, not really.
Can I
Get
get
closer.
closer?
Yeah. With your passive perception, you can see that there's a child inside that they're trying to get out.
Does dispelling wild shape count as an action?
I think it's a bonus action. But I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Can we say that it's a bonus action?
In this case, sure. You can do it.
I would like to go down and cast Bark Skin on the kid.
Thicket flies down, transforming from this bird, reaching his little... how do you cast it?
A gentle tap.
Okay, for a second I had like the mental idea of like you sticking your tail down and tapping him with your tail. Just because it's longer.
Sure, we can say it.
Sure,
It's
one
a
thing-
gentle tap with the tail.
He reaches down with his tail, the longest part of his body, tapping
I thought
on
it
the
was
child. As
the
you
cat's
see, as the kid seems not quite unconscious, but having a difficult time breathing, and it making any kind of speech. As Thicket taps on him, his skin takes on this rough bark-like texture. That is Mason's tools check. Gambit, you are able to successfully guide the others as you pull the other rubble out. Who is pulling the child out?
Gambit.
What's an
What do I roll?
You don't need to roll. You've successfully gotten the child out, as you see. Gambit pulls this probably 6-7-year-old halfling kid up out of the ground as you continue to look around for a few more seconds. You don't see anyone else in immediate danger. As you hear a mother calling for the child, reaching down toward you. As Ashara arrives, looking down in, she will immediately jump down and begin to look through the rubble herself. She looks over. Is there anyone else?
Unless there's somebody under the rubble. We don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anybody else that isn't under the rubble, that is.
She will continue to try to move the rubble and point out some of the guards, ushering them to come down and help her. Anyone who wants to can make an investigation check to try to find anyone else.
Gambit would like to use his sense of smell to
John sees no one.
try to see if he can smell anyone.
Nat 20!
I think it never investigates well, but this time he's in it. He's in the zone. Feels like
John
it's
can't
still-
see in front of his nose. Thicket can see through
I
walls.
think it feels like he's got a little bit of those bird's eyes still left, but then realizes he doesn't know how big a bird's eye is and gets distracted for half a second before returning to the task at hand. Or if his eyes stay the same size. But Gambit, with that, you reach out, you smell and breathe for a few moments, and you come to the same conclusion that Thicket and Garan do, that there is no one else in the rubble. You've gotten everyone out.
Are there plants around?
Not really. You're in a city made mostly of sandstones. There might be some up in the rafters. Oh no, actually there is algae in the sewer. Are any of you gonna say anything to those still looking in the rubble?
We got everybody. We're good.
You
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, positive.
Is there anyone unaccounted for? She looks up to the people on the street. A few moments pass as everyone
I'll
slowly
ask the Lord.
shakes their head.
I have a spell called Plant Growth. Do you think that would be useful to help with the structural integrity of this hole?
The damage seems to mostly be done, but if you cast it on the area around, making sure the rest of the sewer system over here doesn't fall to the same fate. Please.
Look, it seems to be the consensus that this was set up. Your Orange Sun member, John, this was a trap. Remember I tried to warn you that I think someone has plans to unseat you?
Are you saying this like out in the open, out in front of everyone, or
Kind of quietly to her. I mean, if there's
Okay.
anybody immediately around her, they might hear it, but like,
okay. Just
I'm
making
not,
sure
like-
you're not like announcing it to the street?
no. I don't want to put the people in a panic.
Can Gambit investigate the rubble to see if there was like a bomb planted or something like that?
Yeah. Make a Mason's Tools intelligence check.
Don't forget, you still have that bardic for a while,
You have
because
a
when I
bardic.
saw
You'd like to use it.
I will definitely use that bardic. Was that a D8?
Yep.
Yes, it was.
For what it's worth, you can also wait to use your bardic until after you've rolled, and you can be like, I don't like the roll on that dice. I'll add this first before I.
As Thicket
Want
with
to
your
use
passive, you would also see that now that the direct damage has passed, the Orange Sun members have climbed up onto the street and are helping the people that were still left in the cave-in, but were not in danger, back out onto the street and seem to be looking to try to provide basic medical attention. Gambit, with that, it would take you a couple of minutes looking around at the details, where the cracks are, what exactly caused it. It looks like this cave-in was caused, and as you see, the bulk of this tunnel is made up with sandstone carved into a fairly simple, sort of curved, squarish, a curved shape on the edges, but with corners, or like on the sides rather, with edged corners. And it looks like various points every some odd feet, every 10, 15 feet or so, thicker points of sandstone along the walls and things to keep support, while still making sure there's enough room for potential like maintenance or people going through the tunnel if needed, even if there was an amount of water or flooding potentially. As you look very closely, you can't be absolutely certain because of the effect of the rubble, but you do find what look like several chisel or pick nicks. Not picnics, nicks in the stone support underneath this section.
You know, they picked up on the
Nicks in the stone support along the section that are still there that look to be fairly intentional.
So someone came and pushed the support so that the crowd would make it collapse.
Potentially. Definitely looks like the support has been weakened in this section.
Is there a way that I can go see other places to see if this is just happened to happen in this area, or if they've done it in other places as well?
You'd have to patrol the sewer system.
I guess I'm going on a trip.
sewer episode.
In your favorite rocket ship?
Yay.
Does Gambit tell anyone, or is he just starting walking down the sewer?
He'll yell out, "I'm investigating!" And then start walking.
You have an earring too.
He will yell into the earring. I'm going on an investigation trip again.
Do you want a novel with you?
Don't yell, that's loud.
I mean, if you want to come with me, it's the sewers, but I think I'll be fine.
All right, I guess just report in. If anything happens, say something right away so we can come.
Okay.
So yeah, so
What's the range on the earrings?
2 miles.
2 miles.
Oh.
Not sure about this, are you, Garand?
I trust John, and one of your Orange Sun members did not seem to doubt his assessment. I think that sounds like 2 separate, unrelated witnesses, and I
Who's Orange Sun member?
that one, and I point up to Valender, who's like helping to tend to the wounded.
And what did he say?
He just nodded. I mean, you know the Orange Sun; they're kind of weird. You know, they don't always talk, and you know they don't always make sense. But he nodded like he agreed or understood or something. He didn't question
That
it
was
or doubt it.
intentional?
Yeah, he agreed with the assessment that John made.
I never said it was intentional.
I thought you did.
No.
Then what did you
Was
say?
it Dick that thought it was intentional? Or Gambit? One of those.
Gambit confirmed it.
The thing that I think he nodded about was when
John-
John could tell that the child under the rubble, if the rock was moved the wrong way, it could potentially be crushed by it.
John said it was going to collapse.
Oh, okay, sorry. So some of that was the behind the scenes of how he remembered the trap or whatever from before, and that it looked the same.
Sure.
And then I took it as that was like him brain dumping that. Okay. Then it would be change. I'd have to change it. So instead of saying like, yeah, John said that, and that, okay, it would be something like it's too perfect. Where would be some place away from here where someone could do something else? Listen, because if this would distract you, distract the people, you know, there's a great quote that says, never let your left hand know what your right hand's doing.
I don't know what you're getting at. If you're talking about places that could be robbed, I mean, there's a myriad of stores. Some of the vaults in the iron, in the steel bastion. But without something specific, it's a lot of ground to cover.
All I'm saying is that I think that you need to take this seriously. This is not an isolated incident.
I always take it seriously when my people are harmed.
That's good. Then please consider well what I say. If you don't trust us, trust the fact that there are those in places of respect that do. You know.
We'll look into it if this was meant to be a distraction. I'll try and find out what I can.
Gambit is gonna go over the thing and be like, yeah, it was definitely done on purpose. There are nick marks where people mess with the structure.
All right.
He said this to Garand.
Okay. Then he's like, look, and Gambit's gone off to make sure that this is the only place where this has happened. But he says that there were cut marks, nick marks, weakening the structure, causing this to happen.
Who's Gambit?
He's not often seen, but he's one of the members of the messengers.
Another of your party then. Alright. Did he point out where there was damage? I see with my own eyes.
I'll make a guess, but really he would be the one to do this, and I'm like, hey, can you give me a base idea of where those are?
Yeah, and then I'll tell him exactly where they are.
You
Right.
guide her
On the
over
sports
to
section.
the fairly small marks. I'd hardly say conclusive, but you are right that it's a coincidence. Coincidences don't typically happen.
Look, I
I understand your warning. I'll do my best to look into it. I'll keep an eye open. While you're in town, no adventures, would you be willing to do the same?
Of course, Gambit's even off now to try to make sure. Like,
Good.
the whole reason why I even ran to see you is because I believe that there could have been something foul afoot. Now,
And here I thought it was just someone trying to kill me. That would have been easy.
Well, I think so. I think they're, testing the waters.
Let's hope not. Typically when that happens, it means there's more to come. But for now, let's make sure everyone's safe and taken care of. It looks like your cat friend is providing some fairly impressive magical aid.
Yes,
Thanks.
John teleported us down here. I hopped in with a misty step. We got to work. Yes, we were on board. The Orange Sun immediately helped out. Like, lots of people were involved to make sure that this went well. So,
Good.
I can definitely imagine Thicket's already trying to take care of folk as well. So
You can look up and see Thicket on the edge of the street.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's more like he trusts Thicket's kindness and thoughtfulness in this matter. It's more like he's just really trying to be like, he's really trying to hammer home the point to her. Like, look, I get it. We're strangers to you, whatever. Maybe we haven't saved you from a grim attack. Maybe we haven't, reunited you with your spouse. Maybe we haven't done anything specifically for you,
I'm
but
not married. Oh, you're talking generally.
It's like if we have like these different sets of people who seem to be on our side, at least relatively so, even from an outsider standpoint, hopefully that would be enough to be like, okay, well, I'm going to at least take what he's saying seriously now. He did help. They all did help. All the group, the messengers definitely care about me. They care about the town. They care about people. I'll at least take them seriously, like something.
Make a persuasion check. With advantage.
Absolutely fine. If I don't know how good her insight is either, but she would 100% easily read that he's basically begging at this point. He was trying to beg earlier, but then he gave up because she seemed like way too cocky about it. But now he's back to I really want you to understand.
I understand. I know what you mean. Don't worry. I won't let this go unsolved.
All right, well,
You can sense she is persuaded, at least to take it seriously. Around this time, as Thicket is finishing up healing the last of the people who were harmed, making sure that even the man who had effectively had a broken leg that you'd gotten the rock off of first is being healed back to full capability. Doug, what are you doing?
I guess just observing.
As this is all happening, Valender will walk over to you. Doug, I think it's time you checked in.
What's up?
Go ahead and take that 10-minute break there.
What's up?
Who? Mrs. Me? Like, yeah, she's not married. Now I'm curious. I need to actually check how many of the lords are married. Let's find out.
The messengers, the traveling divorce therapists.
The traveling marriage counselors.
Man, we have legit been all about redeeming the bad guys if possible, maybe if possible.
Redeem if possible, kill if not.
It's a very, very fun, interesting approach to a game world, and it's been very, very interesting.
Thicket will look darkness into the eyes and be like, "Have you considered not being evil?"
Oh, darkness, my old friend. Very.
Seven of 15 lords are married, I believe. Yeah. I thought it'd be fun to run a non-combat encounter. I think it was an interesting one.
So I just saw a video about making soybean paste, and like one of the steps is to like mash up the soybeans and let them mold, and then dry them out and do stuff. And one of the comments is, "It's so interesting how people have discovered which mold we can and can't eat. This one killed Jerry, but this one makes cheese blue and tastes super rich and good." Like, I don't get how you discover that.
Right on there. Yes.
And the error is Jerry died. Often wondered that kind of thing. Like, just super random crap. Like, the discovery of penicillin was a complete accident. But it saved, probably half the casualties in World War II. And that and cooking. Like, I don't get... Like, how many things were discovered because somebody was trying things? And how many things were discovered because somebody left something out in the sun for a while and forgot about it and came back and it's tasty? You know? Or like alcohol. I guarantee somebody just left a barrel of juice of some sort out for a while, forgot about it, came back, and alcohol, because that's how fermentation happens. You just leave something with sugar and yeast of some kind and it ferments. Or something to process the sugar. Fascinated me. And we will never know the story of how most foods were discovered.
Maybe not never, but maybe not on Earth.
Yeah, definitely not on Earth.
And of course, all those wines were like 100 years old.
So finding an old wine was good. It's probably just because someone didn't want to let it to go to waste, and then they were like, wait a second.
Well, the thing about really old wine is you both have to discover how to make wine, but also that it gets better with age. And for wine to be over 100 years and not be opened, several generations had to be dedicated to, this is going to be really good for my great-great-grandchildren. Like, that's forward thinking, I tell you what.
Although I feel like some of the years are just like arbitrary dates.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just the bottle in here. Or, yeah. I don't know. I think wine's overrated. I really despise this stuff, to be honest.
I don't despise it. I just don't like it as much as some other things.
I pretty much... The only thing I'll drink wine-wise is like a wine cooler. Like, really sweet. I can't do like dry wine or anything. Which is super ironic, because my mom's whole side of the family just absolutely love wine. My grandpa used to make his own wine, like, and they all like it real dry for the most part. Like, I can't stand it.
Typically, when I drink, I tend toward the Moscatos, fruity, stuff like that.
I don't even like Moscato. I don't know. I just never really gotten into bitter anything.
Sure.
That's why I don't drink whiskey either.
I like my gin.
If I'm getting whiskey, it's mixed in with a bunch of other stuff. Seven, 15. What is that about?
7 out of 15 lords are married, I think.
Oh.
If my numbers in memory are right.
7 lords are married, 6 lords are not. 2 have spouses.
8 single lord, 7 married, 1 6 something. Okay, hey everyone back. Clearly we've got the Chris, we've got the Sam. How's the Jack?
Here.
Jocelyn I need to at. He is muted and deafened. Maury, you round? Guess not.
What did you do, Nog? Drop something in there? Yes, you did. Here, take that. And I threw it to where you can get it. Very good. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Did not mean to throw it back. Okay. So my cat plays fetch.
Did Micah find a way to forcibly keep us in this town for a while?
I think that was the goal.
Not by force.
He wanted to explore Doug's backstory.
If you want to just explore Doug's backstory, potential plot lines, feel free, man. Y'all can also just choose to leave. I'll sneak out in the middle of the night.
Honey, can you not reach it?
I mean, we could make it interesting and just see if the storyline ever comes around, or if we get hunted in the middle of some other life-saving event.
I think my cats really like that I moved the office to the basement.
Yeah.
They can get at me whenever they want now. I can't shut a door on their face. lately when I've been working. Shadow's just been under the desk sleeping.
I think Maury's here because she unmuted. Now we just need the return of Jocelyn.
Meow.
El Gambito.
Oh, she's here.
We are here.
You return back to reality as Doug's mind fades back in from the halftime show that it was within. I think it's time you checked in.
What's up?
Come on, we'll escort you back to the Rising Crucible.
Can I go too?
Looks over. Sure. You can enter the You can't enter the mirrored hall.
Why not?
Orange Sun members only.
Why?
It's ceremonial. It's bordering on sacred for us.
Are we gonna get to see Doug again?
Make an insight check.
Woo!
Take a hero point. As he looks to you and looks to Doug, he has a slight look of sadness, regret, and anger. That's up to him. Come on.
What do you mean that's up to him?
I assume you're following?
Yeah.
Doug is also following. Is anyone else following? Would anyone else see Doug begin to walk away?
Oh yeah, Garon's definitely going, and he's gonna whisper, "Hey, Gambit, this is where we're going. So as you're checking what you check, try to make your way that way."
John? Is John following?
John died.
Goodbye,
Right.
John. Is John following Doug being
Yeah.
escorted by the Orange Sun?
Yes.
You would,
Him?
assuming, is Doug going to let himself be escorted by the Orange Sun? By Belinda
yeah.
and the the two
Yeah.
Ember Sentinels.
I think you will.
You would, over the course of a couple of minutes, walk down the road through the city as you approach what Thicket had noticed previous day of the squarish compound, this large walled-in building of sorts with a large banner over the front of the Orange Sun. Walking up to the gates, Doug would nod to one of the to the Ember Sentinel next to the door, who would knock on the large wooden door a couple of times. It would be opened from the inside. Assuming you all go in, you would see the main courtyard of the Orange Sun is this fairly large and open area. There are some trees around, some areas to sit, but a large portion of it is training ground. Where you
didn't
see...
answer my question.
Hmm?
What do you mean? What do you mean that's up to Doug?
It's up to Doug. It's his decision to make whether he stays with you or not.
Okay.
You don't have to worry, Thicket.
As you walk across the courtyard over toward another fairly large door, this one wood with this bronze edging to it. Going through the training grounds, the cracked circle. I need everyone to roll a d20.
Just the basic.
Just a basic d20. I need the others to roll d20s. I need Jocelyn and Sam to roll d20s.
Just straight D20?
Just a straight
Sorry, Sam.
d20.
You're fine, Craig.
Oh, shame. I guess Gambit doesn't need to because he's not here. So Doug's the only one that sees this. And you are not surprised by it. Partway through, while walking, you're the only one who notices as off to the side from one of the sparring locations, just before two of the trainees. These are... You're not sure if these would be Ashbound or Dawn-touched. You're not sure what the current training would look like if they're preparing a new class or anything. But you would see before... You guess they're probably Ashbound because of their reaction as they're a little spooked. As between them there is a split moment where these two warriors seem to appear out of nowhere in this fairly transparent orange sheen, striking toward each other. One swinging a large great sword as the other blocks it with a shield, casting it to the side and bringing up a mace to strike the first in the side before the visages disappear. As you're led the rest of the way, getting into underneath this sort of awning around the courtyard, up to this door, Valender looks around to all of you. I realized I didn't have names. Where are my names? I have names. Names. Lyra and Thumb will watch over you out here. Actually, probably best I'll stay out here as well. Doug, if you will. Doug will have to go in on his own from here on into the mirrored hall.
I whisper over the comm, like I'm like kind of like scratching my face, turning my head kind of into my shoulder. If we need to break in, let us know.
Can I give Quran extra cover by also, because I was literally planning on doing this regardless, asking both the people waiting outside the door random questions like, what's your favorite color? So how long have you been here? Do you like your job?
That's fair. Lots of questions. You'll get a variety of responses. One of them says orange, the other does not. In the
You just hear Doug, or I guess Val just kind of hears Doug says, "Candid is good."
Said Candid is good.
Yeah. In his response to Garand.
I assume you step into the mirrored hall.
Yeah.
You step into the mirrored hall. This large ceremonial hall, as the door closes behind you, you see several infinitely burning pots, sconces. I can't remember what they're called.
Sconces are for walls.
What's it called with like a basin that has fire coming out of it?
Brazier?
Brazier, yes.
Yeah.
These hanging braziers above these large tables around the room. as well as various seating, some against the walls, some even toward the opposite end of the hall. You see the large walls are almost entirely covered on the left and right side, are almost entirely covered with bronze mirrors. Bronze edged with some amount of the metal mixed in bronze as well, giving a yellowish orange hue to everything reflected through it. You see on the opposite end there are you wouldn't recognize exactly who, but likely either chain hunters or glimmering reavers. One, maybe two, you're not sure exactly which ones are what. You figure one's probably a reaver, but then the two others are probably just chain hunters that all look up as you enter the room, as they're leaning over this large table that looks like it likely has a map on it, based on what you can tell in these various different pins, effectively marking different locations, which I guess I should also share just so you can see them, the different orange sun people you've seen. So there is the orange sun sentinel, an orange sun chain hunter, and what an orange sun reaver might look like. Fixing them on the players or on the audience side so that they can actually see some stuff. Feels right. We just do, and then let me go ahead and that. You would see the semi-familiar figure you've seen a handful of, well, more than a handful of times, especially since you grew up here. You saw him fairly regularly, or whichever him it was at the time. Standing as looking up toward you, standing behind the map, is a very well-armored figure with this red and orange armor, basically to the point of plate armor, with these bits of almost sunlight or wings or fire, depending on how you choose to understand it, coming off the armor at various points, like from the arms, shoulder pads, and from the helmet, the long red cape behind. You figure he likely has he does have a sword on his hip. You would know they often carry shields around with them as well, or at least this one does from the last time you were here. You can't make out his face at all, as the fairly smooth helmet that you and others believe probably has some either enchantment on it to let them see, or marking through it. The red helmet hiding the face of the sole regent, leader of the Orange Sun.
Ooh, spicy.
As he looks down the way to you. Approach.
And then Doug approaches.
I understand you were a chain hunter. Doug, is that correct? I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah.
Where have you been? What's your report?
Yeah, about that month. So long story short, I was doing my, obligations in my scene. Well, one thing led to another, stumbled upon some sort of dungeon of sorts, and realized that there was a bigger mission of world peace, and was on my way to fulfilling that with this party here, trying to collect the different weapons to eventually, I guess, see what happens by returning back to that place and potentially saving the world.
And for what reason did you not return to the Orange Sun with this information that we could dispatch a team to attempt to gather these swords? Why did you stick with the party outside? You noticed
It just kind of happened. It just kind of happened. I mean, they're very capable people. I also liked the adventure outside of the venture. So I
Their
thought,
capability is irrelevant. You knew there's no one trustworthy outside of the Orange Sun for us. This mission, we'll go through a debriefing, assign it to another team. In the meantime, you will have corrective experience, training, take care of a couple of classes. Bring in some new members. Remember what it is to be part of the Orange Sun. We'll be back out in the field in no time.
so I came back. Why?
To leave this party, of course. To return to your duties.
Which would be
In this case, disciplinary training. Followed by whatever mission we see fit.
which is what?
What do you say?
Which would be
We'll see in 2 months when that happens.
wait, 2 months.
Yes.
So stuff happens every day, so it's going to take 2 months for a decision.
He walks around the table toward you. You've gone against the rules. Each of which we have for a very good reason. Must be reminded those reasons. You're an Orange Sun member. This is what we do. We care for our own. We do what needs to be done.
Right. Well, don't we have honorary Sun members?
No.
Could we?
Are you committed to these outsiders?
I mean, I'm committed to a mission, so yes, I'm committed to them.
Committed to an unsanctioned mission. Outsiders beyond the Orange Sun.
Well, it's not necessarily unsanctioned.
What Reaver sanctioned your mission?
This would be the one of the head honchos in Keenite.
You don't have a base in Keenite.
Well, I didn't think I was.
What?
Exactly.
You don't have an Orange Sun team there. Do you intend to shirk your duties continually, Doug?
Do I intend to what?
To leave your duties. To abandon what you were meant to do. Go with these outsiders.
Well, I'm not leaving my duties. I'm just aiding the Orange Sun in other ways elsewhere.
You've gone against direct orders and continue to do so. You've clearly decided that you have some level of affection for these outsiders.
Well, yes, but I mean, my orders were to see that caravans got to and from safely, and that's what I was doing with these outsiders. And to my knowledge, they're still safe and sound, so is it my mission still ongoing?
The mission was to get them to Miocene.
Which they're
However,
not, because they're here. So,
You arrived at Miocene and then left, as you said.
right, so technically my mission is to take them back, right?
Doug. You may play a fool, but I know you're not stupid enough to honestly believe you've been doing the right by us. That you've been following orders. If it is your choice to continue to travel with these people, then I give you two options. There's more than most. We could perform the ritual of the burned oath. You can be gone, free of your duties, join this group. We don't care. Alternatively,
So
there's a private mission that I believe you and your group may be well suited for within this city. If you will do so, we will allow you to continue to carry the title of Orange Sun. Or you can become the Burned Oath and leave here in disgrace.
So what makes this mission not doable by, Orange Sun?
We have members to consider, but there is a benefit to the outsiders. We have other methods. If you choose not to take this mission, we will continue on as we'd planned. But your group is well suited for it in particular, especially because of the notoriety these messengers have gained. There's already a name for themselves.
Oh, so you've heard of us.
Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, shouldn't that say something? Like, shouldn't that give some credit to the Orange Sun?
No, it says quite the opposite. It says to your fellows that you are undisciplined. That they might gain power, that they might gain money from simply leaving the Orange Sun, from abandoning their duties, their brothers, their sisters.
I mean, if you want to twist it to where it was your idea in the first place, I mean, I'll give you all the credit.
Court of public opinion decides the credit, not those who would achieve it. You may decide. Will you take this mission, or will you leave us?
Well, I feel like the first option would kind of make me a bit useless, so I guess the second option it is.
He turns to the Chain Hunter. Prepare the ritual. Assuming that's
Wait, what?
No, the first.
Did I mess up? I was thinking that the first one was the
The second one was the
second one was
leaving.
the burn.
Yeah.
You said you want to do the burned oath. The second one was what you're going to go for, or they?
Oh, I thought it was. I thought the oath was the first option. The second option was to do the mission.
I think the first option was the mission. Second was burned oath. Bottom line, which one were you saying?
So I was saying the oath would make Doug useless, and the mission is the one to take on.
Good. You've been committed.
That's
Swear
the
before
mission.
our brothers and those who are before us that you will carry out your orders as requested.
I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
Make a mockery of these halls, Doug.
Yes, yes. I swear.
You and your team need to stay in town. Not for much longer, just long enough. Should only take a week.
Like the mission here?
Yes,
Okay.
you may have become aware of it. Ashar is a terrible leader, to put it frankly. is-
Go on.
Preoccupied with fighting, with warfare, with the arena. Such to the point that the village itself is suffering. I hear today even a sewer fell to pieces because of her. I need you and your team to gain popularity, even more so than you had, but among the people themselves. Wander the city, perhaps join the arena. See if there's any good you can do. But be prepared for any more disasters due to Ashar's foolishness. And then, in 1 week's time, challenge her as a group. That should you win, she will step down as leader. Should you fail? Well, hopefully she will let you live. She often does let her challengers. At which point you are beyond use to us anyway. We'll take it from there. Should that happen.
So let me get this straight. You want us to basically take down a lord. Why? Other than she's not doing a good job, like who did you have in mind as a replacement slash what is she not doing well, or what do you think this other person and whoever they are would do better?
Well, the replacement is fairly simple. The Orange Sun as a community would take on the head, led by whoever the Soul Region is at the time, me, my successors, whoever after. At least until someone worthy can come and step before us, and take the mantle of Lord.
So
If
why don't
Ashar
you
is
just
foolish, she will not give up the seat. She has no intention of helping the people, but just continue to pour money into that arena beyond what is necessary.
well, I mean,
Let the
if
people.
and why can't you just challenge her directly? Like, don't you have enough prestige here?
Ashar is incredibly powerful. There's no guarantee that such a fight would be one that would win. To be entirely honest, I do not know that your group will. But it may provoke an opportunity for the people themselves to disagree with her, to call for her removal, to support someone as a replacement, at which point she would be forced to step down, as it would become abundantly clear that she has no care for the people and for the city. As when you go up, when you challenge her, you'll make a point to call her out for her crimes against the people, for her absurd decisions, the lack of care she takes for the city, its infrastructure. Staggering steps are falling apart.
Okay. So you said a week's time. So, like, what would you expect me to do in terms of gaining popularity and prestige and, people's ears in a week's time?
Arena, talk to people, help old ladies cross the street. You'll find something. From what I understand, your group is quite good at finding people to help.
Mhm. Well, this seems simple enough. If that's it, then consider it done.
Be on with you. You are dismissed.
And then Doug just kind of, once Doug turns around, his head just kind of gives a little, well, he doesn't change his head position, but his face went from being very stoic to slightly confused, but also like is uncomfortable and just wants to get out.
You exit the building. Valender leaning on the wall nearby, the Ember Sentinels standing stoically as the group would continue with Thicket asking questions. I don't know what the Flower of Keenite is, no.
Do you know about this spell? He points to a spell in Liang's spellbook.
I'm not a spellcaster, again.
Well, this one's my favorite.
What does it do?
Well, you can freeze things and make stuff out of ice. I once made a boat one time, and it was super cool. I was able to float it inside of a bathtub.
Oh. Wait, what?
Uh-huh.
Just... Hey, your friend is here.
Doug!
Hey, buddy.
And then Doug just, hello. Again, I guess.
Did they almost sentence you to death for desertion?
No. Actually, quite the opposite.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about it, or do you want to go elsewhere?
Let's go elsewhere. Let's just get a little bit of ways away from here.
I guess, you took whatever alternate deal he had? Whatever you need to tell your group?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be better than getting, burned.
See you back here later, then.
Yep. I'm sure I'll see you at some point.
Cool. Yeah, if you're coming back.
Well, of course.
Okay.
And Doug kind of like winks at Thicket.
Thicket is also confused.
You are quickly able to leave the courtyard.
What time is it?
In real life or in the game?
In the game.
About noon.
I thought you were making a joke
It's
on
Micah's
the
alarm that said
Yeah.
it was 9:30.
As my alarm says, 9:30 in real life.
And so are we like away from like the Orange Sun in general, like the vicinity?
Yeah, you'd be able to walk sufficiently far away.
Hey guys, so I don't know what to think, but let me just tell you what I heard and agreed to, and as a group, I guess we can decide what we do with that information. And then Doug just kind of spills the whole thing of the two options are, well, I guess in character. So, you know how we just protected Ashara, right? And we thought that someone was trying to overthrow her, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Doug just kind of twiddles his fingers like, so about that, we might be the ones to overthrow her.
Why?
Basically, I was given one of two options. The first is I could just be stripped of my abilities and everything and be considered exiled. Or the second option was we could gain prestige around town, in the arena, challenge Ashara, and have her step down so that the leader here, or basically the Orange Sun, can take over.
Hold on.
Apparent.
What do you mean
apparent-
stripped of your abilities?
Well, the Orange Sun is basically like this private. I guess we're trained combatively in a particular art style or combat style, and there's a ceremony that severs our connection to that combat technique. So therefore, if the ceremony would have taken place, then I would just be Doug without everything else.
Can they perform the ceremony without you?
What do you mean?
Like, do you have to be present for the ceremony to work? Or can they do it in your absence?
I mean, the ceremony is them having me present and stripping me of everything.
Yeah, like, my point is, if we're no longer here, can they strip you of your powers?
Oh, no.
Because the way I see it, they want you to dethrone the Lord and take power. And if we just leave and they can't do anything to you and they have to try to strip the Lord of their power on their own, I mean, we don't really have anything in this town that we need to do.
True.
We could just leave and, yeah, you accepted the mission, but they're not necessarily keeping tabs on you. We could totally sneak you out of the city and then go.
Yeah.
And then, kick the can down the road until they find you again.
I mean, that is the option. Or that is a option. I didn't know Gron potentially, maybe, since you're so close with Ashara, or seems like, that may be kind of giving her a heads up prior to leaving. Maybe another idea. At least we could be under potentially her protection.
Well, honestly, mate, I'm impressed at your openness. I don't think you've said this many sentences in a very long time, maybe ever. So, bully on that. Yeah, honestly, I think letting her know that we have found the person who's wanting to usurp her is useful. But what's his basis? Why would he say that this would be a good idea? Is
all this going into the ring so Gambit can hear too, or is Gambit being left out? Just so I know.
Oh, if Gambit's AFK or whatever, then yeah, I mean, I would try to.
Yeah, he's wandering the tunnels beneath the city.
Oh, I mean, Doug basically has the was it the Sending Stone? No, the earring.
Well, Doug is the nose ring, but yeah.
Yeah, so like anything Doug says is always like into everyone else's ear, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, so we heard everything that you said in the room.
But you didn't hear the context of.
We heard one end of the phone call.
Right. Okay.
Okay, but Jonathan, just so you know, you can hear, at least. You can unmute and say things if you need to as Gambit.
But at least Gambit is now hearing everything that Doug is saying now.
Plus one.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's their context for wanting this to happen other than just they don't like her or whatever? Is there some other reason they think they're better suited for it?
Well, he didn't give me much to go on other than the fact that she is wasting money into the arena while the people here are fending for themselves. So he thinks that he would be a better fit in terms of caring for the people. But I'm not sure what he means by all of that.
I mean, if his idea of being a better fit is effectively threatening someone to say you're going to lose all your power, or you're going to basically be our proxy and dethrone someone for us, that's not a good leader.
To be fair, we killed a lord before. What's his name?
Selzander, yeah.
Xander. So, I mean, wanting a lord gone is not necessarily an indicator of whether or not they themselves would be a bad lord.
No, that's not what I said. No, I'm saying if he threatened Doug, either you're going to lose your power or you're going to take her out for us, that's not good leadership.
Ah.
Yeah, no, just wanting her gone, I'm fine. Maybe she's horrible, right? I mean, I'm okay if we want to take a couple of days and, get like the actual vibe of the people. That's if that's a route we want to go, because maybe she is bad. But I have to be honest, my assessment to this point, she may not be the smartest, but I do think that she has the best interest at heart. She may not.
Definitely cares, yeah.
So, I mean, okay.
Well, that's all I have and all I know. So, I feel like I'm okay with like any option that you guys suggest. I guess personally, would want to be with you guys more so than the Orange Sun. So, however that looks, doesn't matter to me. Like, I mean, if we want to run, we can run. If we want to stay, we can stay.
I don't know. The fact that we're trying to find out what's going on, and now we know, honestly, just seems quite useful and beneficial. I'm fine. I'm fine investigating and seeing if what they say has any merit. But honestly, if that's his opening bid for why he should be leader, or whomever should be leader, or whatever the situation is, that's not a good start.
I mean, I agree. He doesn't sound like a great dude. I also don't necessarily think we need to get involved in everyone's politics just because we happen to be here when there's political strife.
Well, he did say that we should stay for a week. Like, we should not leave. So...
Are you gonna get arrested?
Under a threat of some kind, or just don't leave because?
I will say it seemed like a friendly suggestion. But I was thinking, like, I don't know, should we get a second opinion? Like, should we ask other lords what they think of any, like, if they know of any situation going on here?
Well,
Like-
I mean, yeah, brilliant idea. I think that's right. Thicket can very easily ask Sasha, "Hey, Lady Sasha, what's your vibe? How do you feel about her? Yeah, is she all right?
Do you want me to ask right now?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's lunch. Well, no, I guess for her it's like dinner, but yeah.
Anything else we want to add to it when I ask?
Is this the 12-word thing or whatever it is?
25.
25, I
Let's
believe.
call that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Maybe we should also ask about history on the Orange Sun, like, leader.
What's his
Yeah.
name?
I think it's Malin Vos.
Voss.
Voss.
Malin Voss.
Vase.
How do you spell that?
I will send it in
VOS.
the chat.
How it sounds.
oh, the QRX is silent.
The Soul Regent Malin Voss.
Okay.
Soul Regent is the title of the position.
That's the one that he met, right?
Mhm.
That's the guy.
Hey, that's the guy.
That's the guy. Leader of the Orange Sun, Soul Regent Malin Voss. At least presumably, unless someone's died and taken his place. But the party doesn't necessarily know about that. There's a whole thing that... Yeah. Up to Doug wanting a history check if he wants to.
How does this sound? What are your opinions on Lord Ashara and Malin Voss? We're in a situation where we have to decide who is better.
Yes, that's brilliant, Thicket. Great job.
Okay.
Doesn't quite get across the urgency of the situation, but it worked.
I have a few words left over I could add. It's urgent.
Sure, why not?
It's
Make this closer.
urgent. Okay. So I use the Cynic Stone and I ask Sasha Hellion, what are your opinions on Lord Ashara and Malin Voss? We're in a situation where we have to decide who is better. It's urgent. Watch her come back and say, I don't know who Malin Voss is.
The immediate response is, I do not know Ashura well. She believes in self-empowered strength. She seems to care for her people and is always looking to fight. So I sent the wrong one first, because I need to copy one and throw that into session highlights. I don't know Ashura well, and then sends, she uses the other side, sending, I do not know anything of note about Malin Voss. Who is he?
Well, that doesn't bode well.
Does Thicket choose to respond to her sending?
Yes, I'm
Oh, so
taking
also-
a second
I'm also
to
gonna-
Wait, you have
Add-
2 sending stones?
word count. No, I don't, but she sent another sending, so I can
believe
respond to her.
you can cast it back at least like once with each stone, I think. If my memory is correct. Worst case, she'll spend the slot. She can cast it, it's fine.
She would need to spend a slot.
He's best lost his
Also adding, I hope you are all well. You all are well. She's a wizard, and she's a high-level wizard. She's got slots. And she can recover some of them if she takes a short rest, so it's fine.
Okay, I respond saying he is the leader of the group The Orange Sun, which is the group Doug is a part of in Coquinia. I'll also add and miss you too.
The Orange Sun is known for being a private mercenary group and has a particular technique. I would not expect them to pursue lordship. But she would have had to cast it again, so you can also respond one more time if you'd like.
Yeah.
I wonder if they plan to set up a puppet lord.
I'll say it. Thank you. This has been very insightful. Good to know. Sasha says that the Orange Sun is not known for being the type of group to pursue lordship.
Yeah, see, it's just another shell. It's honestly just another move. Yeah, 100% I'm convinced it's Tatsui. So, if anything, I say let her know, and I say maybe we take out this false Orange Sun leader. Maybe even a true Orange Sun leader will rise to the ranks in replacing him.
So you think I wasn't talking to the person I thought I was talking to?
If she doesn't know who he is, that's surprising. She knows a lot. And if what she does know about the Orange Sun is that they would not pursue leadership, but he really wants it to happen. I mean, had you seen his face before? Was it the same face?
I mean, it was a helmet.
Okay, so it could have been anyone under the helmet then, yeah?
Technically.
Yeah, I find the entire circumstance highly suspect. And I think maybe Thicket or Gambit makes their way to Ashara without much ado.
Do you think I should talk to Belinda since, he's been around to see if he's noticed any changes? Or do you think he might be...
Do you feel that he's particularly loyal or friendly to you? Have you guys worked together before?
I mean... We have, and I think based upon what I remember from last time, is that, we don't seem to be at odds with each other, so maybe he could be a potential ally. I don't know, does Doug get the sense that he seems a reasonable person?
Make a retroactive insight check from all the time you've known. I mean, it's hard to tell. You spent time with him, but it's over the last couple of years after you both finished your training. You worked together as Ember Sentinels for a while, but when you moved up to Chain Hunters a few years ago, it's not typical for multiple Chain Hunters to go on the same mission. They will if it's a particularly dangerous one, but typically they'll just take multiple Sentinels. So it's been rare for you to to interact much over the last couple of years. You're not sure. You know, he grew up more in the Orange Sun than even you did. He was basically handed off to them in the promise that they would care for him and train him. You don't know what the details were with his parents who brought him in, but he's been there basically as long as you can remember.
So he's an OSK.
Sure, whatever that means.
And instead of a PK, he's an OSK.
An Orange Sun.
I thought that's where he was
Yes.
going. Like, all right.
Orange Sun kid.
I mean, what do you guys think, since you know more about these topics than I do? Like, should we keep this hush hush? Should I ask? Should we just tell Ashara and then go on our way? Do we potentially see what she says and then potentially team up with her?
Personally, I am not one to attempt to overthrow a duly elected government unless they've done something completely evil. So, I mean, I would just warn Asara and let things play out how they're gonna. I mean, we don't have to influence the result. I mean, realistically, things are gonna end how they're gonna end. If they're super dedicated to this, it'll happen without Doug. And if they really do need us for this, then it won't happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, my vote is either one of these things. I guess there's three technically. So one, we just leave and deal with it later. That's my least favorite option. My next option is to just go straight to Ashara and tell her everything. I like that kind of a bit, but not a lot, because it precludes the possibility that maybe what they're saying is correct. And I'm trying to learn from others and give benefit of the doubt sort of thing. So even like a day of like investigation to see how true it is that everybody's miserable here or whatever. And then the one that, like the most, then that's the idea, is give it, time and try to find out. So
should we branch out and just ask people from different parts what their thoughts are in general prior to going to Ashara?
Yeah, I mean, we could even do that today. It's just lunchtime.
Can I ask, where are we saying all of this?
That's a good question. Where are we?
You specified that you were far enough that Orange Sun wouldn't hear you, so I don't know if y'all are in an alleyway or if you went back to your room or what. That's up to y'all.
I mean, we probably would have been heading back to the room to discuss it.
Okay, so at least part of the time you were walking, and then you would have gotten to your room at some point during the conversation.
Yeah, I think we should tell Ashara.
prior to, I guess, hearing what people have to say in general?
We could do that first.
I'm saying, even if we did that for like the next couple of hours until dinner, and then after dinner, Thicket or Gambit, who can make it relatively easy to her, probably Thicket most, without too much of an alert to the Orange Sun, you know? I'm just saying, I think that it's going to be fine. I think that she is the right leader for the time. I think she cares genuinely about the place and the people. So maybe she needs some temperance. Maybe she needs a better advisor board or something. But I am. It's going to be hard to convince me that we should do what they've asked you to do. What they've effectively. It's not. It's extorted. It's not really blackmail. It's extortion. What they're doing to you. So, not a big fan of that.
Okay, so I guess we'll start now, right?
Yeah, makes the most sense to me.
Okay, so as I understand, the party wants to go around searching for rumors, searching for information, trying to figure out from the townspeople how people like Ashara, and then or after try to warn Ashara. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Okie doke. That there, I think it's just turning to 10 o'clock. I think we'll go ahead and end the session as the party has formulated the start of a plan, some different ideas, having decided that they don't want to just leave the situation if they can be helpful. Except for John, who's good to just head out. Doug has just neglected to mention, I think, unless you did and I didn't realize it, that one of the 3 options that he gave you was to come to the Orange Sun and leave your group behind.
I don't think that seriously considered that option, to be honest.
Yep, it didn't seem like he did. Which is fair. You can consider an option, no need to bring it up, right?
Well, I mean, according to Doug's written description, prior to everything, it particularly said wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Or like venture out.
I was getting tired of it before I even came upon y'all. But there is Doug is considering and feeling lots of emotions. We'll end the session. Yeah, I don't have an outro image that feels appropriate, so yeah, Doug is feeling emotions.
It's pretty neat.
How does it feel to feel the feels, Doug?
Ask me when it's over.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording side. We'll see you next time, YouTube. We appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.
Bye.